Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Toy Story 4, featuring the voices of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Annie Potts, Tony Hale, Keegan-Michael Key, Christina Hendricks, Jordan Peele, and Keanu Reeves, directed by Josh Cooley. Now, I saw this movie 3 times. Once in the opening night fan event, the second time with my mother in Las Vegas. Yes, I went there this weekend. Don't bother. I mean, I love Vegas, but I mean, don't bother, kids. And third, for taking notes. So, how will I like this movie? Let's get into the movie, shall we? 9 years ago, Woody tries to save RC, the race car, from the first movie stuck on the curb, and it's dark and a stormy night. And while he does save him, but Bo Peep, returning voice of Annie Potts, who she was in the first 2 films, is sold by a man for his daughter, who gives her away 2 years later. Woody, returning voice of Tom Hanks, tries to let Bo back in the house, and Bo tells Woody to let go, and he's sad about it. Which did make me sad, and that's why she wasn't in the last movie, and it did make me feel bad, sad, and for Woody. But we'll see her again eventually in this movie, and I like this as a plot. It's a sad but satisfying plot so far. 9 years later, Andy's grown up and gone to college, as we saw in the last film. Woody and the gang live with Bonnie, that cute little girl from last week, Buzz Lightyear, returning voice of Tim Allen, Jessie, returning voice of Joan Cusack, Ham, Slinky, Rex, and Bullseye get picked to be played with, but Woody doesn't get picked, and I felt bad for Woody throughout the movie. Bonnie goes to kindergarten orientation and Woody feels bad because Bonnie doesn't want to go to school without a toy. And I like that Woody is always concerned, and Bonnie has a great day as she makes a new toy called Forky, voiced by Tony Hale. And I like Forky in this movie because he is obsessed with the trash and doesn't want to be a toy. Woody introduces the gang to Forky as they're told they go on a road trip, and I'm liking these characters back again. It's comfortable. The humor in this movie is quite clever, and the animation has improved over the years since the first film. They go on the road trip, and Forky tries again and again to be purposely belittled, and that was clever. Forky throws himself out of the RV window, and so does Woody, but to save him. And Woody tells Forky everything is going to be okay, and he's warm and comfortable. And Woody takes Forky to Bonnie until he sees an antique store, realizing Bo Peep is inside because he saw her lamp. But doesn't see her, meets Gabby, voiced by Christina Hendricks, and Benson, who's a scary-looking doll. And Gabby tries to have a voice box of Woody's because hers doesn't work anymore. And I like Gabby, and the fact she has an arc to get taken by Harmony, and is interesting to me as she wants the box. Woody runs away from Gabby as she takes Forky, but tries to save Woody. Buzz tries to save Woody, and Forky, as he jumps out of the window and flies, which looks like fun. Buzz gets captured by a carnival toy man and meets Ducky, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, and Bunny, voiced by Jordan Peele. And those guys are really funny. I like Key and Peele. And kids, don't watch their YouTube videos, but they are really funny in general. Woody bumps into Bo Peep and run from the playground, kids, and meets Giggles, who's another character was entertaining, and he asks Bo Peep and Giggles for help, and helps him as she drives a car disguised as a skunk, and I found that pretty clever. I like Bo has been away from kid life for 7 years, and I like her as a badass, excuse my French. Buzz, Ducky, and Bunny run into Woody and Bo Peep when they are arrive at the antique store. Meanwhile, Jesse pokes holes at the tires, which was pretty stinking clever, and are told to stay away from the cat who takes toys alive. Well, takes toys apart, I should say. Bo Peep introduces Woody to Duke Kaboom, voiced by Keanu Reeves, who is a stunt toy that a kid wanted for Christmas one year until he doesn't jump and he crashes. And that's a character that fits Keanu Reeves very well. They ask Kaboom for help crashing into the antique store cupboard until he gets scared of his kid and crashes on the ground. And the cat attacks him. And I like the way he says, "What's new, pussycat?" like the song by Tom Jones. Moving on, and Woody gets in the cupboard and tries to get Forky, but they mess it up big time as Woody jumps on the cat like a bull on a rodeo, which was pretty funny. Well, then Woody and Bo have some harsh words after they escape from the cat. And I'm loving this movie, almost there with the first film. We'll talk about that when I get to how I feel. Gabby talks with Woody and asks for his voice box, and she takes it with Woody's permission, and Buzz goes back to the RV after Gabby takes Woody's voice box, Woody takes Forky with him to Bonnie, and Bonnie forgets her backpack at the antique store, and Woody and Forky go to the backpack that Bonnie's picking up until Forky sees Gabby getting rejected by Harmony, which was a human that Gabby wanted, which was very sad. And Woody gets out of the backpack to help Gabby go to Bonnie, and Buzz and the gang sees Forky and tells the gang to get the RV to the carnival and leads them there. Meanwhile, Woody, Bo Peep, Gabby, and Duke Kaboom go to the Ferris wheel and across to the toy games, and Gabby sees a lost little girl and goes with her, and the RV goes to the toy horse riding ride. And Woody realizes as the RV arrives, he wants to be a lost toy. And when I first saw this, I heard sniffles in my theater in the first viewing at the, what was it again? The opening night fan event. And goes with Bo Peep, and the way it ends was a sad but very heartwarming ending. Woody with Bo, Giggles, Duke, Ducky, and Bunny plays with the machine until every toy is taken, and after the credits during the Pixar logo, Duke jumps in on the eye on Pixar and gives a high five to the rejected Combat Carl, which was really funny, and the Combat Carl that got rejected high fives earlier in the film. So, let's get to it. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 9.4 out of 10. This almost tied with the first film, and I love this movie with Avengers Endgame earlier this year. The animation is great, the humor is quite clever, I really like these characters and I enjoy being around them, and it was sad, but I'm very glad it started off with a high note, and we're ending on a high note. Like, every single movie's rating was all 9, all the way through. Go see this movie. I mean, seriously, you will not regret it. It was cute, it was funny, it was clever, and the animation picked up after the first film in 1995. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for this journey of Toy Story, and until next time, never lose a toy behind.